Good morning, Year 3. Happy February. I hope you are enjoying our letter writing so far, and we're writing back to those felt tips who have been treated ever so badly by us before Christmas. Now, today we are going to be continuing with our letter, and we're moving on to our shape of reassurance. So we're giving the felt tips reassurance that when they come back, everything will be much, much better. We're going to be doing 3 learning chunks today, as we have been doing last week as well. And we are only writing a sentence or so for each one. Now, always think that what can I do better than the model that's given to me? So although I write a sentence, you guys can expand and extend it as well to make your writing even better than the model that I share with you. Okay, so let's start with our first learning chunks today. So we've got 2 initiates, as always, to focus on here. Now, the first thing that we're going to be looking at is some adverbs. So we're not looking at time or place adverbs. We are looking at adverbs to describe a verb. So our verb is sorry, and I would like you to come up with a list of adverbs that you could use to show just how sorry you are. So, for example, are you slightly sorry? Or incredibly sorry, things like that. So in your first box, can you jot down some adverbs to describe how sorry you are? Okay, so I have got things like slightly, extremely, dreadfully, desperately, truly, terribly, seriously, rather, or incredibly. So if we want to think about our level of how sorry we are, you also need to think about which word you carefully choose. If I was really, really sorry about something, I'm probably not going to put slightly sorry, but I might put extremely sorry if I'm feeling really, really sorry. So think about which one you are going to choose when you are talking to the felt tips. We want to show them just how sorry we are. Okay, let's have a look at our second initiate here. So we are going to apologise for the incident with the felt tip pens, but we'd like to collect some words that we can use to describe the incident. Now, I don't want to describe it as in when I left your lid off. I want us to describe things like the terrible incident or something like that. So can you pause the video and in your second box, jot down some words to describe the incident, please? Okay, so we've got words like terrible incident, head pressing incident, drying incident, those kind of things as well. So for our model today, we are going to apologise for what we've done, tell them how sorry we are, and then tell them about what we are apologising for. So I am incredibly sorry about the head pressing incident that happened to you yesterday. So I've extended that sentence a little bit by telling you, using a time adverb, of when this incident happened. Now make sure you link it up to when you received the letter. If you received the letter a week ago and you're replying now, the head pressing incident wouldn't have happened yesterday, it would have happened a week ago. So think about linking your writing always to what you have previously written. So although that's a really short sentence, you could do some extra bits to extend it for me. But what we would like you to do now is you need to pause the video and you need to write your sentence using a powerful adverb to emphasise how sorry you are for the incident and describe that incident with the pens for me, please. So pause the video, 5 or 10 minutes, off you go. Okay, let's have a look at our second learning chunk here now. Okay, both of these are focusing on our basics lens today. Now, we are going to give the pens that reassurance, the shape we're following. We're going to give them reassurance by saying that these are the rules that we have come up with as a class. So we already know that we've got like pen monitors or whatever you called them, but what is their role? What is the rules that they have got to do every single lesson? And not just them, but what has the whole class been asked to do as well? So pause the video and in your third box, come up with the rules that the class has got for pen safety. Okay, so I've got things like we've got to check that checking the lid every lesson and having pen monitors. Maybe, every single person checks the pens on their tables. I don't know, whatever the rules that you came up with as a class, and you obviously can make them up. Okay, Our second initiate here is who has made these rules. Well, I can tell you that year 2 hasn't made them and that Mrs. Ribbons hasn't made them. So have a think about who has come up with these rules in the class and jot down those pronouns, so describing who has made the rules, in the 4th box, please. Okay, so I gave you a little bit of a clue with those pronouns. So I've got things like year 3 or we or us. Remember, you've come up with them as a class. So our model here, the sentences that we are going to write, is going to be reassuring the pens that these are the rules that we have come up with, that year 3 has come up with as a class, so that they know they're going to be nice and safe. So we, year 3, have made a set of felt pen rules that will make your life much better. These rules include: lid should be put on at the end of every lesson, any pen with missing lid need to be given to the teacher, and checking pens every break and lunchtime. So I've told you who has said it, and then I have also used a list to explain all the things that we have come up with. Now I have used a semicolon. Now this is not a year 3 expectation, but if you are able to use this, your semicolon starts off your list. So these rules include, and then I've started my list. The same rules with our punctuation, a comma in between them, and your and towards the end as well. Now I have also included up here is what we call a subordinate clause. Now this is a year 4 thing, but if you can do it, why not try? So you add a subordinate clause into the middle of a sentence. You can move it around to give more detail to something. So we could have just had, we have made a set of felt tip pen rules, but I've dropped in some extra information here. We, year 3, have made a set of felt pen rules. So this is my subordinate clause with my extra information. If you can give that a go, that'll be absolutely incredible. So your second writing that I would like you to do today is to describe who has made the rules and then to list all of the rules that you have come up with. Now this learning chunk is a little bit longer, so I'd like you to write for at least 10 minutes for this section, please. Who's made the rules and what are they? Okay, so let's have a look at our third and final learning chunk for today. The first thing that we are going to do is to collect some time adverbs. Now remember, these are really important adverbs in our year 3 writing. We want to make it more exciting, more interesting, and to develop our writing. So we're going to have another collection of these today. We are giving the felt tip pens reassurance. We are telling them that we are so sorry for what we have done, for having that terrible incident. These are the rules that we have come up with, but we are going to tell them when these rules are going to come into effect. Because we could have made up the rules, but if they don't come into place until September next year, then they're not going to feel very happy about coming back to work. So when are these rules effective of? When is everything going to be okay? Pause the video and in your 5th box, jot down when everything will be fine again for these felt tip pens. Okay, so my time adverbs I've come up with, which is sooner rather than later, from tomorrow, as of now, or by Wednesday. So we're not talking about months and months in advance. We're kind of talking like very, very soon. These rules are coming into place and you will be fine. Now our second initiate for today is to come up with some conjunctions for so. So also in year 3, as well as your adverbs, we've also got to start looking at using conjunctions, higher level conjunctions, so not just and, but, and so, but using them to extend your writing and to make it really interesting for the reader. We could just write a sentence, you know, these things will come. But actually, if we add in that time adverb, as of tomorrow, these things will come, so you don't need to worry anymore. That makes your sentences so much more interesting. So in your 6th box, can you jot down some other words for the conjunction so? Okay, so we could have so or as a result or therefore, and hopefully you've come up with some other ones as well that we'll use to make our writing even better. Okay, so your model for this third final chunk is going to be explaining to the felt tip pens when is everything going to be okay and what is the result of that happening. So by tomorrow, all year 3 would have signed the rules. Therefore, you can be assured that this terrible accident will never happen again. So I've told the felt tips when everything's going to be okay and just explain that in a bit of detail. And then I've used that conjunction, so, but I've up-leveled it to a year 3 word. Therefore, what does that mean? You can come back and it will never ever happen again. Okay, so what we'd like you to do is to say when the rules will be in place and also give them assurance that this incident will never happen again. So pause the video, 10 minutes, and then come back to me, please. Okay, so that was your first learning chunks of the week for your letter, and hopefully your felt tip pens are starting to feel really reassured now that this incident will not happen again, and they'll be able to come back to school nice and soon and ready for when we are back to school as well. Have a lovely day, guys. Any questions, you know where we are. Bye.